Right, thank you so much. I am now going to start with the negative rebuttal. First, my opponent counter-argues that the opening of CIA black sites is kind of off topic because it doesn't help reduce our role in Latin America, but I have to say I disagree with that, because the reason that she wanted to close Guantanamo, wants Guantanamo Bay closed in the first place, is because of human rights violations. And these human rights violations are currently happening in Guantanamo Bay, and that's what those CIA black sites are for. So if we do close Guantanamo Bay, that's not going to stop the human rights violations that are occurring. And these, as she mentioned, these black sites, we don't know where they're going to be. So there could be possibly more popping up in Latin America. It's a situation here where if you cut off the Hydra's head, just two more pop back up and grow back. So I feel that the devil that you know is better than the devil that you don't know in this situation. So it would be better to keep Guantanamo Bay open for those reasons. On the next point, my opponent claims that all the knowledge is available on the internet, so if the terror cells wanted the information, they would have it anyway. That is not the point that I was trying to make earlier. What I said earlier was that prison conversion is an issue. So it is people that are currently in prisons that are being radicalized. These are gang members, hardcore gang members that I previously in the negative noted that they have a thing called prison conversion, where they convert people to religions in prison as part of the gang. So if you have people that are being radicalized, not the people that would be transported over, people being radicalized in prison, those are the people that you need to be worried about. When they're released, they return back to their neighborhoods holding grudges, being radicalized. So it's not that you have these people that want to commit terror attacks and have to find the perfect neighborhood. It's that people are radicalized and returning to their own neighborhoods where they can cause damage. And as I pointed out earlier, and my opponent also noted, the United States has the biggest prison system in the world. So that is a huge potential audience of people that can be radicalized. And the more people that are radicalized, the more people are at risk afterwards. So transferring them over from Guantanamo Bay is not the answer, because you don't want to put more people at risk. American citizens do not need to be at risk. Since my opponent did not address the issue of prison conversion and those people that are in prisons being radicalized, I feel that her rebuttal is not sufficient because it missed the point and disregarded what I had previously mentioned. So to not risk any American citizens' lives, ultimately, it is better to keep Guantanamo Bay open and keep those terrorists off of U.S. soil, away from U.S. prisoners who can be radicalized. Finally, my opponent addresses that we could spend all the money that we are currently using in the prison systems in the U.S., but first we'd have to rearrange the whole national budget, because Guantanamo Bay is part of the military budget, whereas the prison system in the United States is not part of the military budget. And secondly, she claims that we should just confine them in solitary the whole time while they are here in the country. But if you look at if you look at the Human Rights Committee, to a certain extent, solitary confinement is considered a human rights violation. So in that case, human rights violations would be considered on U.S. soil, which we do not want happening at all, and it is better for them to be happening at Guantanamo Bay. So for the reasons of human rights violations still happening, prison conversions and the threat of people being converted in prison and being released and being a threat to communities nationwide, and the fact that solitary confinement in the United States is still considered a human rights violation, Guantanamo Bay should remain open.